Yo, what's going on, everyone? I'm your host, Mr. Ratchez, is what I will go by for the podcast purposes here. And this is the Longstreet Society Podcast. So what we'll actually be doing here is talking about some things revolving around James Longstreet, and most importantly, debunking several myths surrounding him. So today we're going to focus on the Gettysburg myth, which was essentially the myth that Gettysburg was Longstreet's fault. We'll only be focusing on one part of that, which is that he failed to attack on time. So basically, on day one of Gettysburg, all the engagements were accidental. Lee's army didn't mean to run into the Union. Harry Heath accidentally ran into a band of dismounted cavalry and got tangled up in an engagement. What followed was 2 Union corps entered the field, but the Confederates managed to drive them back. Now determined that their sudden victory had secured their place on the field, Lee ordered the army to remain in Gettysburg and attack Meade the following day. Longstreet protested this attack, saying several times that they should pull southeast towards Washington. This way they could choose the ground on which they fought, and additionally, they would be able to fight defensively, but Lee persisted. Later the night of the first day, Lee did consider the idea, but after consulting General Ewell, he rejected it once again. Now this is where the Early claims come in. So General Jubal Early later claimed that Longstreet was told to attack the morning of the second day, but failed to attack on time. And that would technically be true. He attacked in the afternoon, but Early's claims are false. Longstreet was never instructed to attack in the morning. See, because the engagement at Gettysburg Day 1 had been completely accidental, nobody had times to make plans. So, when Lee finished Day 1, he just was so exhausted he didn't have time to plan. On the morning of Day 2 is when planning really began, and this kinda just nullifies what Early said. Obviously, he could not have physically attacked in the morning at all, possibly, even if he had been instructed to do so. They hadn't even made the main attack plan. In fact, they weren't even sure they were going to attack until later that morning. So Longstreet's afternoon attack was pretty much the earliest he could have attacked. If he really wanted to procrastinate, he could have waited until later that afternoon or until early evening, possibly. Now, it is also worth mentioning here that Longstreet very, very die-heartedly protested the attack on the Round Tops. He several times repeated his suggestion for the Southeastern movement, and he persisted on that. So that was kind of something that threw the other generals off. They didn't like that Longstreet was objecting to Lee's ideas, and that kind of just threw them off. Longstreet continued protesting up until the attack on the Round Tops, and even during the Round Tops, he continued to say to Lee that it was a bad idea and they should pull them out, but Lee nevertheless persisted. Alright, well that will just about wrap up things. Before we go, I'd like to make a disclaimer to the actual Longstreet Society. This is not a copycat. I didn't realize that you guys were literally named the Longstreet Society until after I had named everything, and I really didn't feel like reverting it. I'm just a sub-branch of the Dixie Society, which is another made-up thing that we made. So don't, copyright strike me, Longstreet Society. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. Alright, I'll see you guys next time, and come back soon. See ya.